lot of my clothes are missing. I'm like, where are my clothes? Oh, I took them to the cleaners. Why would you take my clothes to the cleaners? Like, it didn't make sense. She sold a lot of stuff. A lot of my televisions or my Nintendo was gone. It was like, oh my goodness. So she started leaving like weeks at a time. So it's me and my little sister, Shirley Crookshank. Shirley is a, like, to this day we have a connection because I basically raised her. Right, me and her, and like, I was talking to the staff the other day. I said, these neighborhoods here, like Uniac Square, like the park, North Preston, like those are places in California I will live in. Oh, I like this place. I'll get it today. There's nothing compared to the projects and the ghettos and the things in California. It's I can't even explain how bad it is. And we was raised there, me and my sister, for 2 years of our life with no parent, basically. Out of 2 years, out of 365 days a year, my mom was probably home 215 of those days. And we lived there, gunshots, walking to school. Somebody got shot, we see the body. Neighbors come out, call the police, but we walking as kids, seeing the body laid there. And I'm covering my sister's eyes and walking to school, and I'm getting picked on every day. How many of you guys know about Bloods and Crips? So in California, Bloods and Crips are the only two gangs. You have Bloods, red, you have Crips, blue, then you have like Vice Lords, black, a lot of Mexicans in Los Angeles. And this gang is serious. In California, just like if you go to the neighborhood I was raised in, if you have a red hat on, a blue hat on, sorry, and you ride through our neighborhood, your car is likely to get shot up. You're likely to get beat up for a color. And so I was raised in 69 Village where it's all Bloods. So I walk to school every day. They bother me. You can't live here, man. You ain't get jumped in. I'm like, yo. I'm just walking my sister to school. I get punched in the head. You know, we hurry up and run to school. These guys are big guys. Like as we walk to school, it's like we walk through where they sell drugs at one of the main areas. Our school's right on the corner, and these guys are like 18, 19. Like, you ain't from here. What you walking through here and all this stuff. So we wasn't getting income at all. Me and my sister. We was on something called Section 8. I believe here it's called subsidy. I believe it's subsidy where they pay for your, we pay basically $89 for rent. Like the government paid like $500, all we have to do is responsible for $89, something like that. So I was like, we can't pay $89. Like the month's coming to an end, we can't pay $89. So what I did is say, okay, forget it. These guys, you know, if you continue to stay with guys, I don't know if the staff here told you guys, if you continue to hang with people that's doing bad things, eventually you're going to give in to that bad thing. Keep telling my daughter, don't put your hand in the plug. Don't put your hand in the plug. Don't touch the plug. Don't touch the socket. She's going to be like, I'm going to touch it to see what it's going to do to me. Because to this day, she's 2 and she's still, so I got to childproof everything. So what I'm saying by that is, every day they tell me, you got to get jumped in. You got to get jumped in, we're going to kill you. I'm like, it's either go through this every day, or just give in. So I gave in. So I was badly beaten by 7 or 8 guys just to protect my sister and myself. It's a initiation of two minutes. Like, imagine fighting one person for 2 minutes. That's a long time. What, UFC is 3 minutes around? 2 minutes. Get beat up by 7, 8 guys. I'm 13, 12, 13, and these guys 18, 21, 12. Beat up, messed up ribs, barely breathe. I think my jaw was broken, but in the States, you have to have money to go see doctors. They're not going to say, oh, sick, you're next. They're going to ask, do you have insurance? Oh, no, how you paying today? Yeah, Mr. Kerr, I'm sorry. That's what they tell you. Unless it's an emergency. Like, you going to ambulance and they bill you. But my jaw was badly messed up. My sister was afraid because I went inside. I told her I got hit by a car because I didn't want her to know what was going on. And then from that point on, I was a watcher. All the drug dealers would sell drugs, and I watched the police officers. If I see a police, I whistle. That's how they paid me every day. And so that's how I made money for my sister. So I called my father again and said, we need to get out of here. And so my father was like, oh, you made your decision. And you told him, you made it, basically turned his back on me. So that left me in a dry point. Any questions up to this point? You guys bored? You want more? I'm gonna give you more. So we left 69th Village. I told my grandmother, I turned to a snitch. I found myself telling my mom and dad, I was like, Grandma, we've been at home by ourselves. She's like, what? She started crying. She's like, why didn't you tell me this? And all this type of stuff. So we went to Vallejo. So Vallejo is more like Larry Utech. Vallejo is more like, upperly class neighborhood. And Oakland was more like a bad neighborhood. So we went from this uppity class neighborhood bad neighborhood to this great neighborhood. My grandma said, okay, you guys coming with me. So she got a big house. So me, her, my mother, and my sister and brother was living all together now. My brother was always the favorite in the family, so he moved away with my grandfather through all this. And I was like, why didn't you take it nuts? But I realized that I was a mama's girl. I'm bored. So I was like, we'll go with my mom. No, you come live with us. So I pretty much wanted to, be with my mom. By being with my mother, it got me in that situation. So we went to Vallejo. So my mother disappeared one time. And I was like, oh. I said, Nanny, I called my grandmother Nanny. I said, Nanny, do not give her money. She's going to disappear. I'm telling you, she said, no, she's not. She'll be back. Gave her money. I think it was like $40 to go get something for supper. She disappeared for like 2 days. Like, what do you do for 2 days with $40? You can't do a lot with $40. Like, what can you do? You get a bag of chips. You get pot. You can't get no gas. $40? She disappeared for 2 days. What is she doing? So, excuse me. So, then, when she came home, I gave her, I said, Mom, if you do this again, we're gone. I don't want to be a part of you no more. I want you to be my mother. So my mother looked at me like, seriously? I said, I'm calling child services on you. This is crazy. My grandmother shouldn't be raising this. You're a mom. You disappeared. You can't, look how you look bad. Your cheeks sinking in. So from that day on, my mother never disappeared again. She just was going through withdrawal. Sometimes I'd go in her room. She'd be sweating and shaking. And I said, Nanny, I remember one time, I said, Nanny, I think the predator lived with us. Like, this lady is turned to the predator in the room. I don't know what that is. I'm scared. Can I get in the bed with you? She went there, and that's when she put her in a rehab. And so she was in a rehab for like a month, where it was like you go there one day and come home, kind of like AA meetings. Go there, come home, go there, come home. And since that day, when I gave it a piece of my mind, she didn't use drugs ever again in her life.